You can hear me now while I'm adjusting myself. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Hello. Welcome. What are you buying? What are you selling? So, today I'm wearing my Ruka shirt. I am ready to die here. I'm ready to fucking die here. I'm ready for I'm ready to die with this hill. Yeah. Let's the chapter won't be out for like another 10 minutes or so. Um and I did not even schedule this. Damn, dude. I didn't even schedule. I was so tired yesterday. So like the past 2 days, my mom bought this catio for our cat because she like freaks out every time he goes outside. So for the past 2 days, I've just been building this thing, and it is a goddamn chore. I've been like cutting myself and shit, like working on it, because like the way they designed it was just really fucking stupid. I even had power tools and everything, and it was still a fucking chore. Anyways, sorry to rant. But I was working on that the whole time. I didn't even get to shave, dude. I didn't even get to shave. I usually do like a nice shave before I start like our Tuesday streams, but nope. I finished yesterday. I showered and I passed the fuck out. I didn't even get to write about chapter 423 or chapter or the Hawaiians arc. So I'm gonna do that at some point. But yeah, I guess we can talk about this in the meantime. We got a good 9 minutes. So I think let me pull up some of the things that I wrote. They're incomplete thoughts. They're incomplete thoughts, but let me pull up some of the things that I wrote. What's this? Oh, invincible. Oh, this is when I grabbed the meme. This is when I grabbed the meme, dude. This is when I grabbed the fucking meme. I don't know if you guys saw it. I made the invincible meme. I made the fucking invincible meme last week when we were watching the mommy stream. So, okay, let me pull up some of the things that I wrote in regards to 423 because I had some interesting stuff. In particular, Kazuya talks a lot about like his trip and the road, and haven't taken the time to like think about driving a little bit because I drive. One of the things I like realized is just like, wait, Kazuya is acting like the road is like purely his. Did you guys notice that? When Kazuya is talking about the road here, and again, for those who are just hopping in, the chapter isn't out yet. That's why I'm talking about chapter 423. Here, I'll just write that here. Talking about 423 till 424 releases. Okay, let's just pin that really quick. Pin message. Okay. So yeah, did you guys notice that Kazuya is like talking like the road is like purely his, and he doesn't realize he's really doing this. And one of the ways like I connected to this is when Mute was talking about how what is it? How Kazuya was like not considering traffic and not considering any of these things when driving. Like he thinks it's just going to be a quick 90-minute drive. That's not fucking true at all. Another thing that I found really interesting is that what is it? For the drive itself, Kazuya is leaving the city and going into what is it? Like an open field. Now, why is this interesting? Well, see, in the date itself, during the Odaiba date, there's a very intentional visual that I've discussed in the past a few times. Okay, we still got 7 minutes. I've discussed this visual a few times during the date, and what's really interesting about that visual is this. Let me find it really quick. Okay. So one of them is like during the date. I think it's like 3:59. Yeah, okay. So 3:59 is one of them. Okay. So there's this one, 3:59. Okay. Now I want you to look at this scenery. All right, look at this scenery. What do you see? Okay. Now we're going to go to Kazuya. There's a version of this one specifically for Kazuya. And that one is 3:50. Okay, what do you see? God damn it. There we go. Right? What do you see? Kazuya is in the city looking back. Chizuru is outside of the city in an open space. You can clearly see the sky, and she's looking up, right? Both of them are looking up, but when Kazuya looks up, you can't see the sky, and it looks like he's turning backwards. When Chizuru is looking up, you can clearly see the sky, and she's facing forward and looks like she's looking back. Isn't that kind of interesting? It's literally kind of symbolic of their journeys, while at the same time, I think it's literally Reiji kind of visually indicating to you how Kazuya is quite literally trapped in the city, right? Isn't that kind of like what it looks like? He looks like he's trapped in the city. So literally, it's when Kazuya leaves the city, it's about quite literally opening his horizons, right? Changing his perspective on everything, right? When he's in the city, all he sees are walls, and you're stuck in like the what is it like in society and like all these things that you're paying attention to because of social media and the news and all that bullshit. But when you go out and you reconnect with nature again, if you will, literally go and touch fucking grass, your perspective on the world changes. So literally, it's quite literally like a shift in perspective that is very much being indicated to you, right? And this is a thing Reiji was doing a lot when the time not the time skip the July 11th thing was introduced, where you notice something very particular. Chizuru is regularly shown to be outside, and you regularly see her with the sky. You can see the night sky regularly every time she's outside. Whereas with Kazuya, every time him and Chizuru interact, he's inside. A lot of the stuff that you're seeing with Kazuya, he's inside and or surrounded by walls or buildings, right? They're literally blinding his perspective on the sky. He can't see the sky. He's trapped in walls and buildings, right? So I think that's another thing Reiji is going for. It's like this idea of literally changing your horizons, changing your perspective. So one, the road is not just for you. Two, when they're driving, they're gonna be like stuck somewhere here in the middle, right? There's literally this like little area that they're stuck here in the middle. And I think Reiji, like we talked about this when we were reading like some of the Reddit stuff. It's like Reiji's indicating this is where Kazuya is right now, kind of like stuck between the middle, where his horizons and his perspective has not changed yet, but it's kind of getting there. It's getting a little close, you know? We talked about how these flowers are an illusion, a disguise, that they look like other flowers, that the flowers are a disguise for what Kazuya is seeing, rather than what's actually there, especially because there will be other people here. Let's see what else I wrote. The shackles of emotional bonds and how it stops us from having deeper relationships. At a point, the emotional bond can become a shackle when you don't dig deeper. When you don't get to know someone, your attachment to them stops you from really knowing them. You share your shared emotional experiences. You shared emotional experiences. You created a bond, which is the first step to dating before getting to know someone. But then you must begin to know them and understand them. If you do not, you shackle yourself as well as them to the very bond that brought you together in the first place. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on here. Kazuya is like shackling himself to the bond between him and Chizuru rather than actually digging deeper, right? The bond here is essentially a disguise. The light is a disguise for Ruka. Right, it's a disguise for Ruka, the thing Kazuya is not facing, the thing that's literally like he ignored it until it literally showed up at his door, right? That's literally like a saying in English where it's like you ignore the problem until it comes knocking at your door, which is literally exactly what just fucking happened with Ruka, right? Again, I don't expect this to be a chill chapter at all. I'm wearing my Ruka shirt. I'm ready to die on this hill. I can bet you this is probably the chapter that like Reiji got into a scuffle with his editor about, and he was a little worried about like if it was like fitting for Ruka's character, or if it's like the wrong move. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. So far, I think Reiji's been like pretty on mark with Ruka. Like he's been nailing her like portrays of words. He understands her character quite well because he can view her from an outsider's perspective. Reiji is actually quite objective about his characters. Unlike us as the readers, even me, I can be kind of subjective when it comes to Chizuru. But he can like look at his characters in a very objective way where he can view the good parts of them and the bad parts of them, whereas we can't. A lot of us are very attached to these characters in some way, shape, or form, and we're blind to them, and that's why he's the writer and we're not. Let's see if the chapter released. It should be out now. Okay. 424. Oh, she's at the entrance. My girlfriend and the girlfriend and passion. Oh boy. Okay, so let's remove this. Remove. Here we go. Let me set this to downward. What? Wait, Ruka-chan. Bunny. Wait. Bunny girl. Wait, this seems like a very intentional nod to a different scene with Chizuru. Bunny girl, okay. And then there's the carrot. Okay. What are you doing out here? I'm here because I'm your girlfriend. To hang out. You can't just show up unannounced. This is wrong. You've been distant ever since what happened. Line messages too. You won't make time to meet up. There's no reason for you to be avoiding me. Oh, there's plenty of fucking reasons. Actually, there is a reason after what happened. Of course I have to distance myself. Anyway, just open the door and let me inside. We're lovers. We need communication to resolve our problems. That's pretty fucking funny coming from you. But Minnie essentially told him not to do that, which is going to be a big problem. I can't do that. You need to be extra careful with Rick. No, I have an orientation for my internship soon. Go home, and I'm naked. What are you naked for? I was working out. Are you cheating on me? I don't have a shirt on. Wow, I called the cheating on me thing. So I don't mind, huh? Our relationship is already beyond that, being naked. No can do. Go home. Beyond what exactly? Definitely not. Huh. This is a weird rom-com. Huh. 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 She actually went home. He didn't open the door, just like I said. Huh. He literally didn't open the door, just like I said. Huh. He did talk to her, which is not a Chizuru move. Tick-tock goes the croc. God, I'm finally done. It took 2 hours of nonstop listening just to get through the explanation. Oh, yeah, he's working. Okay. The company introduction. I need a nap. This is already the 4th company. I can't sit here in a daze. This is exhausting enough as it is. I've got to look like I understand what's going on. Oh, he's wearing his shirt again. Wait, is this the shirt Sumi got him? It is. This is the shirt Sumi got him, right? Next week, I'll start a real internship, online and offline. I have to stay focused no matter where I am. But if I can just make it through this. I love a man who looks good in a suit. I always knew you were a capable man. Let's get married. In the bedroom. Shall we enter adulthood together in the bedroom? No shot. No fucking shot. Yo, fuck you, Eddie, man. No fucking shot. Tick-tock goes the croc. You can't avoid her. No, stupid. Don't mess this up. This is for the best. I can't afford to cut corners right now. This is for my sake. I should just go buy lunch. It's later than I thought. What? Whoa, duh. Hey. My leg's stuck in the door. She pulled a Chizuru. She literally did what she did to Chizuru. I fucking called it. Ruka is a stalker now. She's always been a stalker. What are you talking about? Dude, the moment they started dating, she went into okay, no. When she got feelings for him, she went into his college. Then when they started dating, she literally went and got the same exact job as him. What do you mean? She's followed him to college and she works the same job. She's already a stalker. What the fuck are you on about? But the reason we were fine with it before is because she's a cute anime girl. What are you waiting out there the entire time for 2 whole hours? Obviously, I came here to be with you. Jesus fucking Christ. She's so passionate. I let her into my room. Christ. She's seriously trying to continue where she left off. I said no, we can't do this. You're very attractive, which is exactly why we can't do that again. Ruka. Ruka. Oh, God. The moment she does that, his soul just leaves his body. I really can't. I can't resist what she does this. I've been good. I haven't said anything to Shizuru's-san. I meant what I said in that moment. Haven't I been good? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no. If this is not Reiji, like, tripling down on, hey, this is fucking assault. This is fucking assault. If this isn't Reiji, like, tripling down on that this is just straight up assault, I don't know what it is. If this is Reiji just, like, tripling down, this is assault. Look at this. No, this is gonna end up just like before. Mom. Oh, this is Ruka's mom calling her. Oh, this is Ruka's mom calling her. Oh. Oh. Hello, Ruka. Hello, Ruka. Are you there? Hello. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was just talking with Haruka. Yo, Kazuya saved himself real good. That was about to be really bad. That was about to be really bad. Yep, I'm at her house. Okay, I'll come home right now. Jesus. Look at him just lying there. Look at him just lying there. He can't move. Ah, if only there were 30 hours in a day. Jesus. That was close. Oh. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Huh? Nani the fucking hell? Eh? Also, damn, look at the midriff. Confusion. But none is she doing like a Cats? What's that fucking movie? It's like Cats or something? Huh. Huh. Huh? Improv class? I don't know if this is improv. This seems like a real thing. What the fuck? The Disastrous Cat movie. What the fuck is going on? Huh? Talk about tonal whiplash. I know! And it seems intentional. I think the tonal whiplash is very much intentional. No, the tonal whiplash here is very, very intentional, and it's wild as fuck. And I think that's really important because every time you've seen Chizuru's play, hasn't it been incredibly inconsistent? Right? 1 minute she's dressed for the nines. The next, we're seeing her like a fucking cat, and we're like, what? What's going on? The thing is so shitty, bro. Stop reading it. And you're getting muted. Get the fuck out. Put user on timeout. 30 minutes. Don't come. Rule 1: don't come into my fucking chat telling me what to not read or whatever. Get the fuck out. Get out. Bacon nut here. It's fine. I don't really have moderators at this point, to be fair. I'm not paying anyone for it. I'll just do it myself. What? What? I'm so confused. What a weird tonal whiplash. There better not be a breakneck speak. There better not be a special breakneck speak. By the way, cute note. This, I'm pretty sure this is the original cat from Chizuru's phone. I'm pretty sure this is the original cat from Chizuru's phone, like on her Line app. Like, we always thought it was Peter. I think it was this cat. No, I don't. Hopefully there's not another break, but right? You have Ruka fucking sexually assaulting Kazuya, and then you have Chizuru looking like she's having the time of her life, acting like a cat, rolling on the ground, walking and saying meow. And you're just like, what? And it looks like this is the close. Oh, wait, did volume 45 foreshadow this? Because look. Oh, how the fuck did I not clock this? Did volume 45 foreshadow this? Oh my god, it did. Oh my god, it did. Oh. It's the same clothes. She's wearing the same thing. Yeah, it's literally the same thing. Look at how fucking serious she is here, and then look at what she's doing. And you question yourself, wait, what is going on? Right? You question yourself, what the fuck is going on? I think this is very intentional. Right? I think this is very intentional. Like, what you're meant to be like, what the fuck is happening? Chizuru's having the time of her life, and Kazuya is going through hell to remain loyal. So what is the book? Well, the book reads, it's written in hiragana, which I've said before, and we've misunderstood some Japanese and blah blah blah. Hiragana is very vague. So the book reads the good man and the bad woman. That's what this book right here reads. It reads the good man and the bad woman. Why? Now this is very intentional because it's written in hiragana, it's very vague. So what good and bad is in this context can be interpreted in any fucking way. So the whole idea behind the book, from what I understood from some Japanese fans who were explaining it to me, is that it can essentially be it's questioning what is good and what is bad. Right? It's questioning what is good and what is bad. What's actually good, right? What is a good man? In particular, you'll have things like in history where a supposedly good man by societal standards is is doing something bad, but society doesn't judge him very poorly. But then a woman does the same exact thing, and she's judged as like a terrible person. That's kind of like the thing it reminded me of. And when I was talking to some Japanese fans, that seemed to be like some inclinations that we were going to. It's like what good and bad is vague. Now this is interesting. Let me show you what that reminds me of. So that particular shot reminds me of something. Let me pull it up. It is chapter 310, I think. First try. Nope. 311. First try. Huh. That's weird. Huh. That's weird. What an odd comparison. Now, you're probably wondering, wait, what the fuck? What's this chapter about? It's when Chizuru dresses as a bunny girl. And what are bunny girls synonymous with? Listen, now pay attention. What's Chizuru gonna say? What's Chizuru gonna say? Pay very close attention. And yes, even in the Japanese, it had very sexual, or it's a very much sexual innuendo. All of a sudden, we got Ruka coming back. And this is happening, but almost like you're being alluded to with this chapter. First time doing whatever the fuck this is. This is our first time seeing that. Kazuya will run out of first times the way things are going. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like it's I think you're being tricked into giving you the impression that Chizuru is having the time of her life, whereas Kazuya is having a horrible time. It's actually probably misleading you. I think it's very much probably misleading you. Because, in a sense, wouldn't this be a little degrading? Like, what the fuck is Chizuru doing? Wouldn't this be a little degrading? Like, look at it from a different perspective. Chizuru looks like she's having the time of her life. She's lying on the floor, she's crawling around like a fucking cat and licking herself on her fucking hand. Isn't that a little, I don't know, degrading? So what's actually going on? Right? I think this is meant to be a misdirection. I think this is like the illusion of Chizuru having a great time, and you're probably like, what the fuck? Looking at that, I'm thinking about Cats from Andrew Lloyd Webber, maybe far-fetched. I mean, I was thinking of the Cats movie or some shit too. What is it? Cats, Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking of too. Yeah, Cats 1998. This is kind of what I was thinking of too. Jelly cats join for the Jelly Ball, where they rejoice with their leader, Old Detrima, and one cat will be chosen to be the heavy side layer and be reborn. The cats introduce themselves. What? And it's rated as 7.3. Someone gave it a 10. What's the overall rating of the film? 7.3 out of 10. Huh. Open your eyes and experience the magic as never before on video for the first time ever. Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats. Huh. I've never actually seen this. Wait, there's a fucking moon. There's a fucking moon. Dude, there's a fucking moon. Magical cats. What the fuck? Mischievous cats. Sensational cats. This isn't that Cats movie. This is from 1998. This is old. The new Cats movie was something else. This is the original. No, this is the original. The new Cats movie was, we're not gonna fucking talk about that. Available for the first time ever on video. Yeah, this is a play. This is clearly a play, whereas the other one was something else. Yeah, this is the other one. This is that weird other one. The original was something else. Oh, it's passion. We see Rook as passion, and then we see Chizuru's passion. Oh, yeah, kind of. It is called The Girlfriend and Passion. So this is Rook as passion. And then we see Chizuru's passion earlier with the other bunny girl. But then in the very end of the chapter, we also see the other passion with the cats. Huh. Okay, let's check the Japanese really quick. From what I remember, the plot of Cats, there's a ball where all cats gather to be chosen to be reborn or get a wish. Also, we talked about this before. The shirt Chizuru's wearing, right here that Reiji shows us, it reads what does it read? It was like the something cats. It's like the lucky cat. Let me look it up. It's like the lucky cat in Japanese culture. If it'll load. Come on. Yeah, it's literally the lucky cat in Japanese culture. Yeah, it's theatrical group Minaki Neko. And it's that cat that like stands like this, and it's like white with like dotted spots. So this was already alluding to you, it's about cats. This was already telling you it's about fucking cats. Yeah, Chizuru is literally in a cat's play. Oh, okay. So it's literally an adaptation of like the original 1998 Cats, which makes a lot of sense. And while we might view it as degrading, Chizuru probably doesn't look at it this way. Right? Whereas you might think it's like weird, like I did. Maybe Chizuru isn't looking at it this way. So the title of First Venus was a misdirect. Yes, I think so. It's not inaccurate because maybe Chizuru's working on two different plays. The reason I say this, I had this theory a long time ago. that Chizuru is actually working on two separate plays. And the reason I say this is because there's clear signs of it. And there's one particular scene that very much alluded to this. And it was when Chizuru was talking to Minnie. Let me pull it up. It was like 319, I think. Chizuru was talking to Minnie, and she tells Minnie she already has a play. So Minnie comes up to her here, right? Minnie comes up to her here. Geez, what? That's all the talk about, even at home. So, oh no, never mind. So she comes up to Chizuru. She hugs her. And Chizuru closes her phone. Minnie's like, what are you looking at? Chizuru's like, I'm just checking my script. I have to finish reading it by tomorrow. Minnie's like, wait, I thought your play was done. You still have to practice in the middle of your play? Chizuru's like, no, it's another thing. I got a new role. She closes her eyes. She's lying. But how much of it is a lie? What's she actually lying about? Right? She closes her eyes because she's hiding something, and then Minnie opens that. So she uses a truth to disguise the lie. Okay? So, and Minnie notices that with her eyes closed, right? Minnie notices that with her eyes closed. Minnie doesn't see, and she catches that. So I think Chizuru is actually working on two separate plays, which is insane. Which is fucking insane. This is a hard time to be a Chizuru defender. Why? Wouldn't you argue it's a harder time to be a Ruka defender? Wouldn't you argue it's a much harder time to be a Ruka defender? Just saying. No, really. Wouldn't it be like much harder to be a Ruka defender right now than it is a Chizuru defender? She's just working on a play. She's not doing anything offensive. She's just working on a play. But suddenly, this makes a lot of sense. Chizuru has two separate plays. There's this one in room F, right? There's that one in room F, and then there's the other one that we saw when Umi was visiting. So she has 2 separate plays, which I think is very thematically fitting, that she literally has 2 different things going on. And let's go pull up the Umi chapters. So it was 409? 409? No, it was 408, my bad. Yeah, in 408, we see Chizuru meaning venue first Venus. So that's one thing. And Chizuru's in there, and look at how Chizuru's dressed and how Chizuru's acting here. Very different. Then you go here to Studio F, and she's acting like a cat, and you're like, what the fuck? It's 2 completely different things. These things are like completely different. So I think that seems to be kind of like, it's somewhat indicating there's actually 2 plays, which is really interesting. Chizuru's doing 2 separate plays, which is fucking bonkers. That, or it's always been 1 play and we just didn't notice. Okay, let's see what some Japanese fans had to say. So, Korakana, Korakuno, it really hits the spot. Okay. True Chris, Hispanic speaker, or sorry, Hispanic fan, does not like the Ruka stuff. Fair. Can't really, like, say anything about that. Interesting. There isn't so much right now. Oh, this one's funny. This person's on the little, where is it? This person's talking about this, where Mr. Fish says this is a weird fucking rom-com. He says, I thought Yamori was going to show up, but it was episode 1 where we see Ruka's crime. If you think about it with a reverse genders, Kazuya forcefully entering Chizuru's house and doing kissing and stuff, isn't that super creepy? This time it's the episode I can't defend. Even Lungfish said the same thing. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I think Reiji is like making it harder and harder to, like, you know, he's almost forcing the readers to look at Ruka differently. I think he's really almost forcing the readers to look at Ruka differently. Chizuru, the person who created the whole disaster with Ruka, is having the time of her life while Kazuya is going through hell. How do you know Chizuru is having the time of her life? And she didn't create the Ruka disaster. She doesn't know this is happening. I can't say this is Chizuru's fault. How could she possibly know Ruka's fucking assaulting Kazuya? How? Why is Chizuru in the room here? Is Chizuru in the room here? She tried to know. She's asked about Ruka multiple times. He wouldn't fucking tell her. How is it Chizuru's fault? She's choosing lying in the ground doing what the fuck garbage instead. Okay, you're getting temporarily banned for that. She's literally doing a play and she's working her ass off. And even if it looks like that way to you, that's very superficial of you, dude. So you're getting a temporary timeout for that. Like, that's incredibly superficial of you, dude. You're getting a temporary timeout for that. We literally just talked about how it's an actual fucking play from 1998. That's a huge deal and very fucking popular. And you're over here like, blah, 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 blah. Chizuru is lying on the ground doing whatever the fuck garbage. What do you mean, dude? Have you considered it might be degrading to her? Have you considered this isn't fucking easy for her? Have you considered she's doing something very different? This is why people are so weird with actors. They always judge them in very strange ways. When actors do things that people don't understand and they don't recognize how actors can like draw boundaries and create lines. That's you don't understand how difficult it is for actors to draw lines and create boundaries, especially when there's shit like fucking sex scenes, which people, by the way, don't seem to fucking understand because you're literally being watched. Have you considered that? Look at Chizuru doing this shit while these fuckers over here are sitting down watching her. Like, imagine doing this on the floor while a whole bunch of people watching. Do you know how much willpower that has to take for you to look like a complete fucking jackass to people? And they're judging you and these people just judging you and looking at you. She's going to be doing this on a fucking stage. Do you imagine what that's going to feel like? Right? You have to have like amazing fucking willpower to do what Chizuru is doing and not feel insecure about it. You know? But no, she's just doing this while Kazi is being assaulted as if Chizuru is not working her fucking ass off. You need to look at this scene from a different lens. If you're looking at it from a very superficial lens, you're not going to see this. You're not going to understand what the fuck is happening here. That's a very, very superficial thing for you to say, and it really shows you don't understand what the fuck Chizuru is doing. I'm not even trying to defend Chizuru. I'm literally just pointing out how you're looking at this in a very superficial way. That this is incredibly degrading for an actor. As someone who has acted, I've done acting. I've acted. I've played the fucking fool in my goddamn play in the school. And I had to own that shit if I was gonna fucking, like, look like the part. Or I would look like a clown. And I would feel super insecure about it. You know? It's being an actor is hard. Like, I've actually done acting. Being an actor is really fucking hard. Have you heard about like fucking have you heard Alex Lee talk about the fucking the masturbation scenes with Kazuya and how insecure he was about it? Imagine doing that as an actor. It's not fucking easy. You know? Like, imagine doing this shit and everybody's fucking watching you. You must feel like a goddamn clown. It's difficult. You don't know what the fuck she's going through here. She just looks like she's having fun. She's an actor. You're literally being told she is acting. You don't know how she actually feels. You're literally being told she is acting. Why the fuck are you seeing someone acting and thinking to yourself, oh, what the fuck is she doing? What is this garbage? Well, this guy's suffering. It's very superficial of you. There's a Japanese version of Cats from 1983. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, this could be that. This could be that. I just don't think there's enough information to know or judge what Chizuru is doing yet. She's just working. Exactly. Exactly. So why the fuck are we judging? You don't know. Shiki cats. Shiki. Or Shki. Shki. The only reason I reacted to that is because of Shki from Garden of Sinners and Tsukihime. Shki cats. Shki cats, Japan, cats musical fandom. Shki theatrical group. Open to the door to Otter in the world of Cats. From more than 30 years since the premiere, Cats has continued to astounding long run, attracting audiences of all generations. The appeal of the show lies in its originality that goes beyond the scope of images that the world musical conjures up in people's minds. The moment you open the door from the foyer, you're welcome to the world of Cats. The audience seats emerge from stages in the form of a vast urban junkyard. As soon as you step inside, you will feel as though you have shrunk to the size of cats. Before you know it, you will be the resident in the world of cats. A junkyard in the street corner under the pale light of the full moon. Bro. Okay, we gotta post about this really quick. No, we gotta fucking post about this really quick. Whoa. Let me see if there's a better one. I'd like a better picture. Yeah, this is really interesting, actually. Ha. This is literally what I was thinking of. This is literally what I was thinking of from Garden of Sinners. Garden of Sinners. No fucking shot. Reggie better not reference Garden of Sinners. Bro, Reiji better not fucking reference Garden of Sinners. I swear to Christ. If he references Garden of Sinners, Jesus Christ. Sorry, just one sec. Just posting this really quick. I'll get back to business. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Butter. Okay. Sorry. Just a sec. Full moon. No. Chizuru not talking to Kazuya at all is an issue. True, true. I don't disagree with that. Come on, open this. Why won't you open the picture? What is all this fucking nonsense? There's so much bullshit on my screen. Chizuru thinks everything is fine, but it isn't. This is also a part of the problem. Kazuya assured her that he could handle everything on his own. You can see where that led to. Yes, you're not wrong. I completely agree with you. Please understand. I completely agree with you. Like, I'm not saying that's not an issue. That is absolutely a fucking issue. But I think what Reishi is doing is intentionally separating them, um, to explore this idea. No, I think what Reishi is doing is intentionally separating the two and showing them how in being apart they're making it worse. I really think that's the point. He's showing how you can't solve things alone. So he's literally leaving them to solve things alone, and what's it doing? They're both falling apart in their own different ways, right? Chizuru looks like she's perfectly fine. She's probably internally falling apart. Kazuya is physically like in front of you falling apart. This is the same exact mistake people made in the 3-month time skip. This is the same exact mistake people made in the 3-month time skip. I'm not even kidding you. They said the same things. Chizuru looked fine. Kazuya looked terrible. Therefore, why is Chizuru, why, look at Chizuru. She's perfectly fine while Kazuya's suffering. The same exact things were said during the 3-month time skip, and it was wrong then too, because you saw how when she talks to Minnie, she was in emotional turmoil. In fact, Chizuru talks to Minnie again, and she literally shows to Minnie she's in a terrible emotional place. She's emotionally suffering. She's not physically suffering, but she's emotionally suffering, although there are signs that she's starting to physically suffer a little bit. But again, it's literally just like the 3-month time skip. I think Reishi is intentionally recreating those events to play into our perspective. And like, oh, look, Chizuru's having the time of her life while Kazuya is suffering. That's the illusion he wants to give you. That's the illusion Reishi wants to give you, that Chizuru's having the time of her life while Kazuya is suffering. That's not what's going on. That's really not what's going on. And I think we're going to start realizing that more soon, that Chizuru is actually having a really hard time too. It just looks like she's not. Whereas Kazuya is in some ways having a hard time, and at the same time, he's not like, he's isolating himself. And Chizuru doesn't know. Neither of them knows what's going on with the other person, you know? And I think that's very intentional. Both of the characters are focused on the symptoms of the problem, not the actual problem. And I think that's very, very important, right? You see Kazuya struggling, you see him getting tired, you see him getting exhausted, and you're intentionally, Reishi intentionally shows you Chizuru in the middle of practice. Not when she's tired, not when she's exhausted, not when she's out of breath or burned out or needing to eat or anything. No, intentionally in the middle of practice, where she looks like she's having a great time, but she's acting. You're intentionally being misled. It is a misdirect. Gyokan Nyan no Mizuhara, a cheerful, lovey-dovey Mizuhara, Nyan Meow Meow, suggests she's actually cute, kitten-like, or unusually affectionate. Are you reading are you reading like the text on the side? Yeah, I sent the stuff to Crumpy, but he hasn't. I don't even know if he's actually looked at it yet. I sent it to him. And, oh, he's typing. He is a typing. He is a typing. Fellas, lock the fuck in. So I will warn you guys, I'm gonna stop streaming at around 10:20, because I gotta go to work today. Unfortunately, my schedule has been really fucking hectic. So I still have to go to work today. Luckily, it's a short shift. If I can leave early and continue streaming later, I will. Tomorrow we're gonna react to the anime. Don't worry, we still have like an hour and like 20 minutes. No, sorry, hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, we still have an hour and 40 minutes, so we've got plenty of fucking time. But I did want to point that out. Just to let you know, for anyone who's like, ooh, why is he staying? Why is he going? Okay. Let's see. I'm totally swept away by the cute cat appeared in the end. I'm curious about what happens next. Yeah, I want to know what the next time is. Crumpy's typing right now. I'm curious what their next time is. Sorry, let me read some of the chat. Is there a chance that Chizuru will totally fall in love with Kazuya? Okay, I'm sorry. She's been in love with him the whole time. She just thinks she isn't. And you don't know the reason why she thinks she isn't. No, Chizuru has liked Kazuya. I can bet you right now she's had a crush on him since episode 1. Not kidding. She's had a crush on him since episode 1. They liked each other around the same time. The difference is Kazuya's a little more aware of his feelings. Kazuya knows what love is. He doesn't know who he is. So naturally, he's being molded by everyone around him. Everyone around him is like forging him and molding him into their own images. The above are Gemini translations. Yikes. Yikes. Sorry, I don't like AI translations in general because they can be very hit or miss. So I'm gonna rely on Crumpy, who actually speaks some Japanese, to give me some proper translations. As for Chizuru, so I mentioned Kazuya has his identity being shaped by everyone else. In contrast, Chizuru knows who she is, but her love is being shaped by everyone else. Right? Everybody else kind of highlights what her love should look like. And the key moment I want to highlight to you here is Hawaiians and the conflict that happened between Chizuru and Mami and Ruka, where they all screamed at her for kissing Kazuya. They all got upset at her for feeling the things that she does. So naturally, Chizuru starts doubting her feelings. If you think Chizuru's just gonna fall in love with Kazuya, you don't understand what love is. That's not how love works. She's been in love with him this whole time. They've shared, look, the way you start a relationship is pretty straightforward. A lot of people think like on your first date, you're supposed to like talk and see if you have shared interests and stuff. In reality, you should probably work on forming an emotional bond, not getting to know the person. Sounds counterintuitive. I know. Sounds really counterintuitive. I know. It's not. The first thing you should do in a relationship is that you should start forming an emotional bond. When you form an emotional bond, you have a connection. That's why in storytelling, what writers love to do is have shared trauma. That's a shared emotional bond. You've been through shit together. So your relationship holds. You have a connection to this person. You formed a connection to this other person. Then you get to know them. Then you dig a little deeper. Then you start seeing the more what's in there. And if this is what you want, if this is how it's going to work. That's why if like someone tells you, like I was watching a video from Dr. K, he was saying like how some people like to say a movie on your first date is a bad idea. I always disagreed with that. He spelled it out perfectly. He's like, bro, you should form an emotional bond. A movie might not be a bad idea on first watch because you're both experiencing it. You're sharing in that and you can talk about it, which is great. He's 100% correct. A movie on a first date is not a bad idea. Yeah, it looks like you should talk. It's okay to form an emotional bond first. That's what Kazuya and Chizuru did. They formed an emotional bond. They've already liked each other. They have shared experiences. They have shared connections. Chizuru from episode 1 already connected to Kazuya. You know why? It's very fucking simple. She literally relates, right? She literally relates to Kazuya because they both want to, because they both care about their grandparents and want to make their grandparents' dreams come true. Oh, look, from episode 1, you're already getting informed why Chizuru understands where Kazuya is coming from. Holy shit. So when you see chapter 2 and Chizuru goes to her grandmother and you get a complete recontextualization of that scene. Chizuru completely understands where Kazuya is coming from. She literally feels like a failure too. They emotionally bonded on this idea, even though they don't know a whole lot about each other. But they have an emotional bond. That is the point of the series. Kazuya forms an emotional bond with Chizuru. Whereas, with the other characters, he doesn't form an emotional bond. They're forming an emotional bond with him. He's not actually forming much with them. Case in point, Mami. Mami is getting some sort of emotional attraction to Kazuya that's completely separate from his. She has her own emotional bond. They don't have a shared emotional bond. They don't have a shared experience that they can connect to and associate with that person. Mami is having her own emotional bond completely separate from him. Ruka has her own emotional bond completely separate from him. They're not connected. Whereas Kazuya and Chizuru are. Right? Sumi has something a little closer to that. Right? Sumi looks like she has an emotional connection with Kazuya, only for you to later realize, oh no, she's actually just like Ruka and Mami. Sumi literally only has an emotional connection with him. It's not the same for him. They've had shared emotional experiences, absolutely. But her love for him is very much one-sided. It's her experience, not his. It's not a shared connection. Then, what does Reiji do when Kazuya and Chizuru go on the Odaiba date? What is Chizuru doing for most of the date? Chizuru is literally trying to get to know more about him. She's literally doing the thing that I was just describing. They formed an emotional bond. She knows she has an emotional bond to him. But in some ways, that's also kind of a mistake, wouldn't you argue? Because Chizuru is so busy trying to get to know more about him, but shouldn't a first date just be about an emotional bond? Do you see the mistake Chizuru is making? It's technically their first date, and it's a paradox. Because on one hand, Chizuru is right. She should get to know more about him. On the other hand, it's their first date. Therefore, they should just be about an emotional bond. It's a paradox. That's the point. Because their relationship is in a weird spot and they don't know where they are. Reiji specifically said in the Odaiba date, both of them were not ready to date. For a very simple reason, they were completely on uneven ground, uneven wavelengths. They didn't understand each other. Chizuru was focusing on trying to get to know him. Kazuya was just trying to focus on letting her have a good time. They weren't there on the same page. So their relationship was just not going to start. They were not on the same page. They were not on even ground. They didn't walk into the date with the same expectations and ideas. They looked at this date completely differently from each other. And that is what Reiji's been building. I talked about this when the July 11th was introduced. What this is actually about is creating a proper foundation. It is about recognizing your foundation's broken. The foundation that you two share is fundamentally broken. And that is the point. This is why we see Chizuru in the very end of this chapter looking like she's having a grand old time, whereas Kazuya looks like he's fucking suffering. We have a foundational misunderstanding of what's happening here, intentionally so. Reiji is invoking that foundational misunderstanding on us as the readers. We don't get it. Because we are with Kazuya constantly, and we're not with Chizuru at all. So we don't know what the fuck has been going on in her journey, whereas we know exactly what's happening with Kazuya's. That is the point. We are literally experiencing a foundational breakup in a relationship and not understanding. Because if you have a relationship and you have a poor foundation of understanding with the other person, every time you see them, you won't understand what the fuck's happening. It'll look completely different in your eyes from your perspective because of your broken foundation. So with Chizuru, what does Reiji constantly do? He kind of wants us to research a little bit. He gives us clues. He gives us constant hints and clues. And then with Kazuya, he's also giving us hints and clues. Even though we're interacting with him constantly, our foundation with Kazuya is also broken because you're rooting for him as the hero. You think everything is great, but you don't actually understand what the fuck is going on. You don't know what's actually happening with Kazuya, and a lot of people on Reddit, such as Jojo Maniacal, have been catching some really good hints of what Reiji's been doing. It's actually kind of incredible. In the same way, Reiji's been giving us hints with Chizuru and clearing things up that I've been noticing, and Varicus has been kind of noticing, whereas Jojo Maniacal is kind of like a 50-50. Sometimes he's on the money, sometimes I'm like, you're kind of missing it a little bit. At least I feel like. Hey, Fate, been following your... So this is from Lars. I used to main Lars. If you're referencing Lars from Tekken, No, Lars from Tekken is with an S, not a Z. Anyways, hey, Fate, been following your channel and videos for over a year. Just want to know that I appreciate you bringing to light how complex and great the story actually is. Keep doing what you do. Thank you. That's really nice. Again, I want to do more of that. I really appreciate it. That actually really means a lot. Thank you, Lars. No, I've been trying to do more and more of that as much as I can. I've been trying to work on videos and shit. I found some crazy shit about Hawaiians, dude. I found some crazy wild shit about Hawaiians that can inform where we are right now. Studio F is a fashion company. Does that mean anything? No. I don't think so. It could, but remember, this is just the studio that they're in. The studios are just labeled by letters. You could be right. I'm not going to pretend like you could be wrong. Maybe we could look it up and there's some sort of fucking connection. But I think this is just supposed to be Studio F. And when you think of the letter F, right, you could be Studio A. But when you think of the letter F, right, you could think, well, feline, female, I don't know. But you could also think of failure. You can also think of failure, right? Studio F. It's the final. It's the bad letter. So failure. And in that sense, right, you could look at it from a different lens. Maybe this is something bad. Hi, Fate. How are you? Nice to hear that. I'm good. This dude's a bot. This dude's a bot. Oh, okay, this is getting banned. Get the fuck out. Shit, how do you ban people? No, I'm not a bot. You are so a bot. Get the fuck out. Account created 1 hour ago. Followed since 2 minutes ago. Yeah, not a bot, my fucking ass. Get out. Not a bot, my fucking ass. Account created 1 hour ago. Bruh. Okay, so Crumpy says he's done. Let's look into that. If we were being honest with ourselves, Chizuru and Kazuya will never actually be a couple. At most, there will be a deep admiration for Chizuru towards Kazuya. Okay, well, that's just silly because you clearly don't understand what the fuck this story is about. But hey, keep talking. Keep saying your thing. I hope the cohabitation arc will also be great, like the Paradise arc in season 5. What season will cohabitation arc appear? I think we're gonna get most of the cohabitation in season 6. I think we're gonna get most of the cohabitation in season 6. I think so. We have 2 spots where we could stop in season 5. I think there's a very high chance we stop when the cohab starts. So the cohabitation starts in chapter 255. Right now, where we are in the manga is chapter 231 with episode 5. So they adapted. Let me see what they adapted. Let's see what they adapted. Once again, the last page of Chizuru is the most interesting here, and this could become an important thing for one of the story developments. Yeah, we talked about that. We've already been talking about this. There's actually a lot of hints with that page. Remember, we're just talking about it. There's like an entire connection to the Cats play and the Cats theater group that's been going on since 1983. This is a big deal. This is a very this is the first long-running stage show in Japan that is hugely popular with Japanese pop culture. So this is actually a very big deal. right? This is actually Chizuru wasn't lying. This is actually a massive fucking deal. If she is in a Cats theater group, because Cats is very big, like the play that is. The play also has a connection to the moon, right? The whole thing that's going on in it is literally it's under a full moon. So I feel like while Kazuya is like working to do his thing and go on this big thing with Chizuru is actually planning to show him this play. And maybe she thinks the play will be how she expresses herself. The cats are connected to the moon. Of course they are. Cats have always been connected to the moon. Who are you kidding? Of course they are. Cats have always been connected to the moon. Yeah, Chizuru's entire motif is of cats. She's always been connected to the moon. So sorry, what were we saying? We're saying something. Oh yeah, the cohab. Oh yeah, I was gonna check like how much they've adapted. So we started episode 1, with chapter 215, 216, 217, 217. Okay, so they adapted like 3 chapters. Next chapter was 218, 219. There was a missed chapter from 211. And then I think 220 is where it stopped. Yes, 220 is where it stopped. So it was about 4. Then it's 221, 222, 223, and I think 224. Or no, it was just 223. Then 224, 225, 226, 227. So we've adapted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 chapters. So 18 chapters in 5 episodes. Another 18 chapters would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. So if they do another 5 episodes, we would end up at 249. 249 would be right when they lose their homes. Oh. 250, 251, 252, 253, 254. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So they could. I think it would be really smart to end it when they move in together. It's doable. It's doable. If they pace themselves well, it's doable. It could end when they move in together. I think that's a great spot to stop. 220, 256, 257, 258, 259. It would be awkward to stop at 259. Yeah, you could stop at 259, but it would be a little awkward. 260? I don't know. I think they should stop when they move in together. It feels like the perfect spot to stop. They might try to push it a little further. They might try to push it a little further just to show them actually living together. They could try to push it just a tad further to show them actually living together, but they might not. It really depends. I think they could do it. They could do a few episodes of them actually living together. And then they would stop with the hint of Sumi returning. Oh my god, cat. Oh my god, cat. Wait, 261? Wait, 261. Is that when Peter first shows up? It is. Oh. Well, look at this, chapter 261. And what do you see? Chizuru relates to Peter. What do you see here? Chizuru relates to Peter. Why are you just sitting there? Sometimes you get a little lonely too, huh? Meow. Nya. Come back soon. We've got more people around too. This could be a good spot to end too. This could be a good spot to end as well. This could be that I could see this being a great spot to end it. But hey, this is relevant too. This is relevant too. Chizuru meowing. Nya. Okay, let's go to Crumpy. So Crumpy sent me the shit. Crumpy sent me that shit, bro. Okay, so page 1. Page 1. Let's go to page 1. Alrighty, from the top. So right here it says, Ruka-chan charging in without a notice. Kazuya is reminded of that day. Okay. Then here. In any case, I love you. Heart. She's dressing as a rabbit because she's dressing as a rabbit because the expression used here for in any case uses the kanji for rabbit. Huh. Interesting. In any case uses the kanji for rabbit. That's weird. Maybe there's something like hidden in there. Let's see. Okay, last page. Kazuya survived the storm, and Cat Mizuhara is in a good mood. But isn't rain coming if a cat washes its face? What? Nani the fuck? But isn't rain coming if a cat washes its face? Oh, like licks itself? Is that like a Japanese saying? So what's the kanji for rabbit? The kanji for rabbit, I don't know what the kanji for rabbit is. We can look it up in a bit. Crumpy, if you see this, could you explain, is that like a saying in Japanese? Oh, he says it right here. Never mind. Okay, so the next time is first plus, wait, what? Burden bearing, shouldering, imposing, load. So first plus first burden, the first burden, the first bearing, the first stress testing, the first load. What? So the next time is first stress test or something. That's weird. First stress test. Okay. The cat washing its face thing. If a cat washes its face, rain is coming. For the third notes, the expression with the cat washing his face seems to be a Japanese expression. Cats clear weather after a typhoon has passed. Huh. Okay, so this is Reiji like telling us, oh, shit's about to hit the fucking fan. Oh, but then after the rain, but that's the thing. Another saying in Japanese is that after it rains, after shit hits the fan, there's this saying that the ground hardens. So like you become stronger after the rain. So I think he added another saying where it's like clear weather after a typhoon has passed. So yeah, so literally like after the typhoon passes, there's also a second saying where it's like once it rains and shit hits the fan, you actually become stronger. The ground hardens. I was talking to a Japanese fan about this. Okay. So also after the survive the storm, it's supposed to be this, but it was a weird to translate it just like that. Kept the storm part since it's part for the end of the note. Okay, so Kazuya survived a clear weather after this typhoon has passed. And this is almost like a reward. Oh, this is almost like our reward for clearing the typhoon. But look at the sky. Doesn't it look ominous? Look at the sky here. Doesn't it look fucking ominous? I didn't even notice that the first time. Look at the sky here. It looks fucking ominous. Also, Kazuya right here is a direct nod to when Ruka first kissed him. This is a direct nod to when Ruka first kissed him. He couldn't move. This is the thing I really hated about the anime adaptation. Is it night? It looks like it's night, but it looks weird, doesn't it? Look at this scenery. It's not just the sky, it's the city itself. The entire scenery is just unnerving. Everything about it is like very what the fuck? And is it night when Kazuya opens the door? No, it's not supposed to be night yet. So this entire setting just looks very unnatural and uncomfortable. And then you cut to Chizuru just looking like she's having a good old time. Okay. Oh, the kanji for rabbit. So the kanji for rabbit means horns and means a rabbit, but native Japanese don't translate into horns on the rabbit because this set of 3 letters means that anyway. It is said that the kanji originally derived from the Buddhist term rabbits, horns, turtles, hair. Because there are neither rabbit horns nor turtle hairs. Actually, I know turtles with hair, but it was supposed to be it's supposed to exist. It's said that the kanji means something never existed. I don't know why the words have been shortened and changed to the meaning. What the hell? So the story behind the rabbit kanji is that it never existed? It means something never existed. What? Wait, I'm a little confused. Wait, I'm a little confused. Okay, and then I do want to send you the kanji for Chizuru from chapter 311. Just to see if there's any similarities. I don't own it, but I will buy it. I will purchase it in public for everyone to see. It's funny because rabbits also have a connection to the moon. Rabbits also have connections to the moon. Okay, so what does this say? Oh, that did not catch it. Okay, what the fuck? Did that actually send the thing? What's going on? Okay. Okay. So let's see. What does the cats and rabbits have in common? Well, ears and shit, but they also have I think Sailor Moon's name Usagi, which means rabbit. There's a connection. Oh yeah, no, rabbits have always had a connection to the moon. There's a story that they did in Dragon Ball where there's literally like a cat, or sorry, not a cat, a rabbit pounding mochi on the moon. That's literally like a fucking joke that they do in Dragon Ball because that's a story in Japanese culture that there's a rabbit on the moon pounding mochi. So there you go. There is a connection between rabbits on the moon, just as there's a connection between cats on the moon. The expression anyway, in any case, is that. Okay. The blank is the kanji for rabbit, is the kanji for horn. Oh, I see. The first expression, blank, literally means horns on a rabbit. Since that does not exist, this expression has been used to say anyway in case. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, 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 okay. So, okay, 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 okay. Now I understand. Okay, okay. So the expression here is it's is it this? Let me double check. Rabbit Chizuru. So where is it? I think it's this expression right here. Yeah, it's this. So this is the kanji for rabbit right here. This is the kanji for rabbit. This is the kanji for horn. So this right here, this text right here reads, if you read it literally, horns on a rabbit. But that doesn't make sense. You know, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So what they do is the text here means or reads anyways or in any case. So anyways, I love you. That's what that's supposed to say. And I think it's intentional because if you think about it, horns on a rabbit. Is the rabbit a devil? Get it? Right? This rabbit has horns like a demon or a devil. I think that might be intentional. I think that might be intentional, low key. Because you look at Ruka, she kind of looks like she has horns. Right? The little demon. This rabbit technically has horns. And the anyways almost ignores what you're feeling. Like you're talking about something else, and Ruka just says, anyways, I love you. Right? What is she trying to do in this chapter? She's trying to ignore her phone. Right? What is Ruka trying to do in here in this chapter? Trying to ignore her phone. ReZero rabbits have horns and they are gluttony. Ruka isn't gluttony, Ruka is lust. Although you could say there's some gluttony happening here. You could say there is some gluttony happening here for sure. And I think it's very impressive or thematically interesting, not impressive, that Reiji uses authority to make Ruka stop. As a thematic parallel to the end of Hawaiians, where Mommy tries to use authority to make Ruka stop. So I think it's really interesting that here Ruka stops because her mom is on the phone. That's kind of interesting. You can see how the horniness is like a demon. Rabbits represent horniness. Rabbits are very commonly associated with being horny. But I don't think that's the intention in the Japanese. I don't think that's what the author is going for. I think that's just a read people are going for, but I don't think that's because horn doesn't. That's just an English phrase that sounds like horny, but I don't think horn actually sounds like horny in Japanese. Chizuru, on the other hand, cover bunny and carrot. The rabbit is inseparable from the carrot, so in a relationship, they can refer to two people who complement each other perfectly. Although in reality, the carrot is just a snack for a rabbit, the symbol suggests that one party is the need or the object of the desire for the other. You never see rabbits fucking, and yet they're oftentimes associated with exactly that. They're not like the horniest, but like rabbits are often associated with being horny. Like that's just the thing. It's literally on Playboy. So yeah, just makes sense. I also think Ruka like wearing a hood is kind of interesting here. Kazuya sits on a carrot in this one, whereas with Chizuru, he's like holding on to the carrot. He's holding on to the idea of being Chizuru's object of desire. And it makes sense. Kazuya is the object of Chizuru's desire in some sense, at least in that part of the story when it was going on. Because there are parallels between her and Ruka. But whereas Ruka actively acts on it, Chizuru tries to kind of restrain herself. Carrots look like Kazuya's member. Yes, we know. Yes, they look like a giant fucking penis. Yes. They look like a giant fucking penis. Yes, we get it. We get it. We know. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. It even shows it on the ear in the cover image. What about the ear? I just realized you can see Ruka's midriff right here. I just realized, didn't even notice that. Yes, we get it. Kazuya has a massive fucking badonkers penis. You happy? Jesus Christ. If Kazuya didn't freeze so pathetically, dude, could we not tell someone who's literally a fucking victim to not freeze pathetically, please and thank you, Jesus fucking Christ. You guys are making me lose faith in you. No, because if Kazuya did that, there would be a whole other issues. He literally can't move. And if anything, if he could move, he could just push Ruka off. He literally can't move. Ruka is abusing Kazuya's inability to move. So it looks like she's touching her horns like a demon. Well, a demon wouldn't touch their horns, but she's flipping one of the ears. Anyways. Y'all out here saying the weirdest shit. Chat, you're disappointing. Y'all are horny as fuck and need to relax. Y'all horny as fuck and you need to relax. I mean, tone it the fuck down. Dude, I get horny too, but I need you guys to chill. It don't need to be 24 fucking 7. That's victim blaming. Because it is! Well, low-key. It's low-key victim blaming. It's not like intentional victim blaming, but Marcelo hasn't exactly had the greatest streak when discussing interesting topics, so yeah. Huh. Harada is making a new studio with SNK. Cool. Cool. Leaves Bandai Namco, goes to SNK. Man's hilarious. I love him. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's like anything else that's interesting. We're not gonna get a whole bunch of comments today because, like, remember this is at night for Japan. This chapter releases at 12. Like it started like at midnight. It releases at midnight for them. So a lot of the comments will come in at a later time. It's 9:30 right now. Let me see if there's anything on Discord. Actually, wait. Let me adjust the camera. Ugh, no, don't turn that shit on. Please and thank you, don't turn that shit on. Okay. Dude, I need to shave. I didn't get a chance to shave. Honestly, you can't really blame Kazuya because he really is the victim in all of this. Yeah, I mean, in this case, I kind of agree. I think the first case wasn't as bad. I think the first case, Kazuya had some autonomy. In this case, not so much. Because she fucking ambushed his ass. Like, she literally, like, jumped him. Like, he couldn't really do a whole lot. Right? So to be fair, in this instance, he really couldn't do a whole lot. Like, the first time it happened, I'm like, yeah? The second time it happened, oh no, she absolutely fucking ambushed him. Like, Kazuya couldn't actually do a whole lot here. I can't, like, really fully blame him or anything here. I'm just like, oh no, like, he actually couldn't do much here. You know? Like, she straight up jumped him, dude. Look at this. She fucking jumped him. Like, holy crap. But, like, in the first time it happened, he let Ruka into his home. You know? The first time it happened, he... Like, in many ways, think of it like this. What Reiji is doing with Kazuya now is a direct mirror to what Chizuru did with Ruka, in that Kazuya kind of caused this. You're probably like, no, he's the victim. How the fuck did Kazuya cause this? Kazuya caused this by not addressing Ruka sooner. By just hoping she would give up. And then when she kept touching and kissing him, he would let her. And then when he ultimately fell between her legs, it escalated to this point. Kazuya did cause this. To some degree, he absolutely did. But Ruka has some blame in this too. No, it's not his. No. Listen. You're misunderstanding my point. You're really missing my fucking point. Slow down. No. Stop talking and slow the fuck down. Chat, shut the fuck up for a second. Chat, shut the fuck up for a second. Okay? Look at it like this. 3-month time skip happens, okay? Ruka is still there. Kazuya doesn't feel like he can tell her. Okay, that's fine. Can't really blame him. Ruka is delusional a little bit. She wants to be with him. She's not going to give up, okay? Essentially, it led her on a little bit, right? Without meaning to. You could say it's technically both their faults. You know, Kazuya couldn't handle Ruka at the time, and Ruka, knowing Kazuya doesn't really like her and he has things for Chizuru, kind of deludes herself into thinking, oh yeah, I can be with him because he's not with Chizuru anymore. She's gone. She lies to herself about it. Okay? Fair enough. It's technically both of them. As the story continues, you get to the date. We haven't seen Ruka for a hot minute at that point. She's just kind of been in the background. She wants to hang out with him, but he keeps saying no. Right? She's already getting signals he's not really interested. You get to the date, and remember, in the build up to the date during the cohabitation, Reiji wanted to do more with Ruka to naturally build into the whole Ruka thing, but his editor told him no. So the 2 chapters before the date start are kind of like the amalgamation of what Reiji wanted to convey with Ruka. In particular, what he does with Kazuya in those scenes. What happens with Kazuya is that Kazuya goes on this date with Ruka. And what does Kazuya do? Kazuya, he at first he's just, hanging out with her. It just seems like normal. It's his usual weekly date with Ruka or some shit like that. Cool, whatever. Then he uses Ruka to get the credit card. Remember, he's getting a credit card for his date with Chizuru. Look, Ruka's done shitty things. Kazuya does not need to use her to get a fucking credit card. He shouldn't have brought her there if this was his plan. And then he lies to himself and says, no, I was always going to get it. I shouldn't feel guilty for doing this to Ruka. Okay? Kazuya kept saying he wants to protect Chizuru and protect his secret with Chizuru, and yet he's not actually thinking about any of it. So for instance, he drops his fucking keys. The keys to his house that he would have lost had Ruka not noticed it. Because he wasn't actually thinking about it. He keeps telling himself he wants to protect the secret with Chizuru, and yet he's constantly dropping things as if it's karmic justice. Like, he doesn't give a shit about Chizuru. He keeps saying he's going to protect her, but he's not actually doing it. So he keeps dropping things. Ruka picks it up, and Ruka notices and comes up to Kazuya. What does Kazuya do? Ruka tells him, oh, you have a keychain on this. I want to add my keychain on this. Kazuya says, okay, sure, and hands her the keys. What did Chizuru say? This is a gift. This is from me to you. These were keys Chizuru gave to Kazuya, and he knows it. He willingly hands it to Ruka, and what is the first thing Ruka does? She takes off Chizuru's keychain and wants to fucking toss it. And Kazuya freaks and tries to grab it back from her. He gets it, but again, as another bit of karmic justice, he gets bumped and he drops the keychain. And what happens? The keychain bounces and it falls between Ruka's legs. Right? He falls between Ruka's legs. What does that do? It triggers everything. Right? How did Ruka start this whole bullshit? Ruka started this whole bullshit because Kazuya fell between her legs and she started getting horny. Reiji visually shows you in the cover page of that arc, Ruka's literally hugging Kazuya. She touches his ass in that arc. She kisses him on the cheek in that arc. He just lets her. Okay? And he knows he should just break it up with her. He knows he should just end it without Chizuru being the excuse. But he doesn't. And what happens, it ultimately escalates to a point where he can't resist because she keeps touching him. He keeps letting her touch him. So naturally, he can't resist her anymore. He's formed a physical bond with her. He can't resist whenever she fucking touches him because he's let her touch him this whole time. That's the problem. Yes, a part of it is Ruka. Ruka's absolutely fucking deluding herself. 100% she's lying to herself. Kazuya's also lying to himself, and in many ways, he peopled a Chizuru. Remember, what happened with Chizuru in the very beginning of the series, right? How did the Ruka thing start? Chizuru didn't really believe the whole Ruka bullshit. But she felt bad for Ruka when she saw Ruka crying. So she's like, date her. Kazuya ultimately chose to date her. He chose to listen to Chizuru. But that's not okay. He chose to fucking do this. So you could say Ruka is a whiny little child who cries until she gets what she wants, but she still has to listen to her mom, which Kazuya uses. He forces authority onto Ruka because he literally can't be the parent. So he makes Ruka's mom be the parent because he can't do it. He can't play the role, right? But then you could say a different thing with Chizuru, where it's like, yeah, Chizuru technically started all this. It doesn't mean Ruka wasn't using it. Do you see the problem? It's like, yeah, Kazuya started this with Ruka where he didn't end things properly, right? He just kind of let it drag on. But Ruka used that. Do you see how I'm saying Kazuya technically did this? Kazuya technically started all this. He let it escalate to this point. And it's a mirror to Chizuru in the cohabitation, or sorry, not in the cohabitation, in Hawaiians. Where, because Chizuru didn't really address Ruka properly, it escalated to a point where Ruka was able to use it in this way. You can disagree. I don't care. That's fine. You can disagree. I don't care. That's fine. This is what I believe. You can feel free to try and highlight to me why I'm wrong, but this is how I view it. Ruka's crazy to think that only Kazuya can be her Prince Charming and screw her dignity just to have him. The proof is that she's lying to her own mother, saying she's at a friend's house. Yes, I'm not saying Ruka isn't doing shitty things. She absolutely fucking is. No, I don't think Kazuya at this point can end it. I don't think so. I think Kazuya is not at a point where he could end it. He was at a point where he could end it. He had an opportunity to end it. He can't anymore. He needs help. He really can't end it anymore. I think the reason I say this is because Chizuru was not in the picture. I think the problem with the way Kazuya is approaching Ruka is very simple. He's using Chizuru as an excuse. And you're probably like, wait, what the fuck? No, he's not. No. You can break up with someone without telling them I love someone else. Just tell them I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I don't like this relationship. I am sorry. I want to end it. This has nothing to do with me liking someone else. It's not that I like someone else. I just do not want to be in this relationship. That is the problem. No, he didn't. He really didn't. No, he didn't. He gives her the autonomy. No, he did not. Please pay fucking attention. Look at what he does. I'm going to go back to the first time Kazuya tried to break up with her. He uses Chizuru as his excuse. He literally does. That is the problem. That is straight up. Yes, I am going there. Chill the fuck out. Okay, first we have two chapters, 184, and I think it's like 180. Is it 180? I think it's 180. Yeah, it's 180. Okay. 180, what does he do? 180, what does he do? Please break up with me. I'm sorry, I'm in love with Mizuhara. Problem one, he's bowing down and asking respectfully. That's not how you break up with someone. That's not how you break up with someone. I'm sorry. It's nice, it's respectful, it is not kind. Because you have given her the full autonomy of the situation. You can't do that. That's not how you break up with someone, because if someone loves you and you don't love them, they're not going to want to break up. If you think people will just listen to you when you tell them, I love someone else, you're stupid. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. That is reality. People are not always kind. Period. Case in point, Umi. Chizuru told him, I'm not interested. I don't want to be in this relationship. He did not fucking stop. Right? He needed evidence to stop. That's the thing. She cut him off, though. She's like, no, I'm just not doing this. I'm just not doing this. She cut him off and she stopped him and she refused any physical contact. Umi never touches Chizuru. She never lets him touch her. Ever. The only time Umi touched her was during a date, right? It was the very beginning of the series, which doesn't count because they were just friends. And two, it was during the date when she slipped and he grabbed her. That's it. He never touched her again. She never lets him touch her. Ever. Okay? So there's this scene. Kazuya gives up his autonomy to Ruka. Ruka's like, I know, duh, and she's not going to give up. And she follows him home, and what does he do? He lets her touch him, right? Reishi shows it right here. She comes up and she grabs him And Kazuya just lets her touch him. Now let's go to 184, right? There's a big problem with 184. That Kazuya says the right things, but he's giving mixed signals and he doesn't realize he's doing this. How? Okay, 184. He comes up to Chizuru. Chizuru walks away. Ruka calls. What does Ruka do? She shows up, right? She shows up. How many times how long can I stay here? Well, 184 is not when it happens. It's 185. My bad. Okay. Ruka shows up. She makes a whole fucking scene. She refuses to listen like the petulant child that she fucking is. And what happens? She starts guilt tripping. She starts doing all her bullshit. She's going through a fucking script. We're not going to go through every single thing. And she walks into his house. Come on, we're going inside. The anime removes this scene. Look at what she's doing. Look at what she's doing. He goes into the house. They are sitting near the bed. And he lets her hug him. No. If you want to break up with someone, you go into the room and you pull them outside. You don't let them into your private space, period. Kazuya at the time did not know this. Kazuya doesn't know how to break up with someone. This is why I can somewhat give him a pass here. Kazuya at this point does not know how to break up with someone. I can somewhat give him a pass here, but I'm showing you what the fuck he's doing wrong. He is doing something wrong here. What Reiji is highlighting to you is very, very simple. Kazuya, at the very beginning of the series, was very inconsiderate. He was a very inconsiderate person. Because he didn't realize how his actions hurt the people around him. And he slowly starts to learn to be considerate. So what does Reiji do? He takes this inconsiderate aspect of Kazuya and flips it. He's not inconsiderate in the way that you think he's being inconsiderate. He's inconsiderate of his actions in that he doesn't know how his actions are giving the wrong signals. He is trying to be considerate here, though. He wants to break up with Ruka for all the right reasons. But he's sending her mixed signals, and he doesn't realize it because he let her into his house. He's letting her touch him. He's letting her physically interact with him. But his fault does that not make. It makes him inexperienced. It is a problem, though. It doesn't change the fact. You can be inexperienced all you want, but that's the thing. With this case, he is making a mistake. However, he continues to repeat this mistake because later he knows he can end it. That's the thing about the cohabitation. That's what I'm building to. Later in the cohab, he knows he can end it. Why? Why is that so important? Let's go to Hawaiians, right? Let's go to Hawaiians. Something very, very particular happens. After Hawaiians, after chapter 218 and the rejection with Chizuru, he was going to break up with Ruka. Chizuru's not an excuse anymore. He was just going to break up with Ruka. That's it. He was just going to tell her, I'm done. GG's. Goodbye. Okay, let's pull that up. There we go. 220. I believe it's 220. Let me check. Okay. I can't leave the Ruka situation like this. Who knows when we'll get into another jam. I need to make things clear once we're back in Nirima. I guess in this winter, I'll be alone again. It's not about loving Chizuru anymore. He just wants to end things. That's it. He was going to. This was going to happen. The problem is very simple. Don't use anyone else as an excuse. Just do it. Don't use your feelings for anyone else as an excuse to end a relationship with someone. Just do it. And this is very important because how does mommy break up with Kazuya? How does mommy's boyfriend break up with her? I'm sorry, I love someone else. Let's break up. And you know it's a fucking excuse. To Ruka, it feels like an excuse. That's the problem. Kazuya needs to break up with Ruka, not for Chizuru, but for himself. Not anyone else. And that's the problem. He could have. I think in the cohab, he could have. He can't anymore. He's straight up a victim now. He fucking can't do it anymore. And whenever he does it, it will always be for Chizuru. That's the problem. I think if Kazuya, during the 3 months, or not the 3 months, the Kohab, had tried to break up with Ruka without Chizuru, with Chizuru not being his excuse, it could have happened. I think it could have really ended. Because he was slowly giving her inclinations, he was getting a little distant. Reiji intentionally shows how Kazuya could have broken up with Chizuru, or not Chizuru, with Ruka during the Odaiba date stuff. He could have. He chose not to. He led her on. Yes, he did. Whether he meant to or not. Is it Chizuru's choice or is it Kazuya's? Chizuru didn't tell him continue it. She just said, I don't want to deal with Ruka. Chizuru did not say continue it. Chizuru never told him to continue or to end it. Neither. She never told him to continue or to end it. That is part of Chizuru's mistake. Is that she doesn't help make Kazuya a choice. She doesn't do anything. Chizuru's mistake is not doing things. She's trying to give him autonomy in not taking action. Because whenever she takes action, he just follows suit immediately. He doesn't decide for himself. What Chizuru needs to do is help him make decisions. She needs to start asking him, what do you want? That's the problem. The nuance of the situation is that she makes it like it's not her issue. Who? Chizuru or Ruka? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. Anyways, let me read some of the comments. Kazuya has PTSD and people-pleasing tendencies. He tried to break up with her in his own way, but he fucking tried his own. Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, your own way doesn't work. And at the time, he didn't have really full autonomy, and Ruka was in control. Chizuru in chapter 241 or something. What are you talking about? I'm confused. The law is with Ruka, and she knows it. If Kazuya tries to break... she's not thinking about the law. Ruka doesn't see her own privilege. No. You're right in that the law would probably side with Ruka. Oh, you're probably fucking right. The law would think Kazuya's fucking pathetic, and they would side with Ruka. Society would probably side with Ruka and be like, Kazuya's pathetic. But that's not the point. Ruka is not looking at it like that. Ruka is a character that does not see what she is doing. She does not see how much control she actually has. So the fact that Kazuya bows to her at all is an indicator of that. That she is the one in control of the relationship. And that's the problem with Kazuya's situation with Ruka. You can't let your abuser be in control. Like it can feel that way, but what Kazuya is experiencing, the simple truth of what Kazuya is experiencing is what a lot of victims experience. It's basically it's taught helplessness. He's been conditioned and taught that he's helpless. He's not helpless. And once he realizes he's not helpless, he'll be able to do things again. But that's the thing. It's like, it's not fully PTSD. It's not really simply like that. Kazuya, in many ways, gives up his autonomy without meaning to, right? So he actually had control for a lot of the Ruka stuff, but all he's ever known is how to approach it this way. And that's what I'm trying to highlight, is that after the 3 months, Kazuya could do things. He just didn't want to, because he's been conditioned not to. It's easier not to. And that's just kind of part of the truth. You know, he does need help. You're not wrong. But this is, okay, I think this is the best way I can explain it to you. I think this is the best way I can explain it to you. What you guys are really focusing on is how it's everyone else's fault. What I'm trying to focus on is how it's both of their faults. That's kind of my point. There comes a point in life where you can't just blame everyone else. Yes, you are a victim, and that's not wrong, but there comes a point where you must take some responsibility over yourself. And Kazuya has some control over himself. And if some fucker comes into my chat and tells me Kazuya needs therapy, are you going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that therapy? Right? How is Kazuya, the broke-ass bitch, going to afford therapy? Who's paying for that? If some fucker comes into my chat and tells me, oh, Kazuya needs fucking therapy, who's paying for that? Is it him? Do you think Kazuya can fucking afford therapy? You think therapy's cheap? You think therapy's like fucking easily accessible and cheap? Fuck no. Yeah, she says to keep talking to them from Ruka a secret. What does that have to do? Did she tell him stay with Ruka? She told him keep it a secret from Ruka. Did she tell him date Ruka? Did she say that at any point? Did she say, don't break up with Ruka? Did she say, keep dating Ruka? Were these words she spoke? No. She never said that. Now, could she have helped him? Yes. That's where I'll give you credit. Could she have helped him? Absolutely. 100%. Chizuru could have helped him. What implication? What implication? What implication? She did not tell him keep dating her. She just said keep this secret from Ruka. Yeah, fair. Ruka knowing about this is probably not a good fucking idea. Kazuya agrees with her. Yeah, probably not a good fucking idea. What implication? Stop putting words in the character's mouths. They didn't say that. Chizuru tried to help him with Ruka. She asks about her 24/7. She asks about Ruka 24/7. He could tell her more. He never does. He could tell her more. He just never wants to trouble her. I don't think only Kazuya can end it. I think Kazuya needs help to end it. I think what Chizuru needs to do for Kazuya is make him feel stronger to end it for himself and not for her. I think that's what Chizuru might ultimately do for Kazuya. She's going to help Kazuya end it for himself and not for Chizuru. That's what I think Reiji's building up to. Chizuru empowering Kazuya. Making him feel like he can do it for himself and not anyone else. Right? I don't think Chizuru should end it for him. Chizuru may have played a part in starting it, but I don't think Chizuru should end it for him, nor does Chizuru owe Ruka really a full-on excuse. She could explain herself fine, but I think there comes a point where it's not about explanations anymore. You don't need to explain anything to anyone. I'm sorry, that's just the simple truth. That's life. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to give someone an explanation of why something is happening. There comes a point where you have to let go of that guilt. And I think that's what's going to happen with Ruka. There comes a point where they just kind of have to end it. And Ruka can't get an explanation. And she's not going to. It's going to be like a proper fucking shutdown. And I think that's literally what it means for Ruka to learn to be an adult. Like, treat her like she is. She is a kid. Ruka is a kid. She needs her mom. Her mom needs to shut her the fuck up. Right? Ruka doesn't want to listen to her mom. Her mom calls. She doesn't want to listen. She wants to keep kissing. And then Kazuya forces the phone open and she has to listen to her mom. She bends to the authority of her parents because she is a kid. Right? That's the thing. Reiji's already highlighting to you what the issue is. Ruka bends to authority and Kazuya knows that. So so you must take authority over your life in order to end a relationship with someone. Because if you give them the authority over the relationship, they will do whatever. That's what you have to do. You have to take authority over your life. It is your life, not someone else's. And that is just really the simple truth here. Kazuya has to learn to take autonomy over his life. He can't do it alone, absolutely. He needs help from Chizuru, absolutely. But there's no implication of the whole Ruka thing. If anything, Chizuru was grateful that he told her that he didn't love Ruka. If anything, Chizuru was actively trying to help him to end things with Ruka. She talks to him like the relationship's already over. That's the thing. She's talking to Kazuya like the relationship with Ruka's already over. She doesn't know what's been going on with Ruka in the background. Kazuya doesn't tell her. She doesn't know. If Kazuya is not planning on coming clean to Chizuru, Ruka has too much power, and she can threaten him with telling her forever. And like, I think a really important scene that I think we didn't really clock when looking at this chapter. Let's look at it really quick. I love what Ruka says. One thing that Ruka says that I really, really liked, because it's really subtle and indicates a lot. She says, right here, "I've been good. I haven't said anything to Chizuru-san. Mom, I've been good. Please give me this thing. Come on, I did what you asked. Please give me what I want. Come on, Dad, give me what I want. I've been good. I did what you said." Doesn't this sound like an age gap relationship? Doesn't this literally sound like an age gap relationship? Because it is. She's a kid. But she's the one in control. I think the wording here is very, very intentional. And it probably in some ways alludes to adult videos. It probably in some ways alludes to adult videos. "I've been good. I did what you said. Can I please get my reward?" This is what this is. Ruka wants her reward. This is what this is. It's a reward. "Give me my reward. I've been good. I meant what I said in that moment. I didn't do anything. Haven't I been good? Please, please, can I get a kiss?" It's like she's addicted. Dude, it's like she's addicted. It's like she needs her drugs. That's exactly what it is. Kazuya's literally got her addicted and he doesn't even realize it. Ruka's addicted to him, she doesn't even realize it. And that's what I mean. It's like, because he let her touch him so much. Valid thread, I could still tell her. She didn't say that, though. She implied it without meaning to. She implied it without meaning to, but I don't think Ruka's ever going to do it because she's on a high. Or no, she's not on a high. She's deprived of her, she's deprived of the thing that makes her high. It's not an obsession, it's an addiction. Mommy is an obsession. Ruka is an addiction. There's a difference. No, Ruka is addicted. It's a drug. No, I very much believe with Ruka, it's an addiction. With Mommy, it's an obsession. Mommy is very much an obsession. Ruka is an addiction. And addiction is sometimes even scarier than obsession. And the next time might be the whole drug addiction thing. Initial load is a medical term, apparently. Initial load. Well, it's not initial load. It's first plus like something like a burden. No, so the first letter or the first word is just first. It's just first. The second word is akin to a burden, something heavy, so something that's difficult, not like a load. Like it's like a load you're carrying on your back, like a weight. So the first weight or something, like you're adding weight. You could maybe think of working out or some sort of a burden that you're carrying. Is it a medical term in Japanese or a medical term in English? That's the important part. Is it a medical term in Japanese or a medical term in English? Because if it's in English, that's a whole different matter. That could be a complete misread of the situation. If it's in Japanese, sure. All yours, buddy. And if it's in Japanese, please show me. Please show me a link proving that it's actually in Japanese, that's what that means. Ruka is addicted with the effect Kazuya causes her body, not Kazuya himself. Yeah, she's in love with his love, not him. A big thing Reiji's highlighting is that everyone always wants Kazuya's love, and with Ruka, it's come to the point where it's like a physical thing, where like it's transitioned from being in love with his emotions to being in love with his body and what his body makes her feel. Just as before, she was in love with what his emotions made her feel. So now she's in love with his body and what it makes her feel. And also before we continue, I did want to show you what Reiji does here. He physically nods back to Kazuya's birthday. So in Kazuya's birthday, when Ruka kisses him, it's the same way. It's fucking identical. Chapter 88. My mind is telling me no, my body's telling me yes. No, not that. Not that. Look at Kazuya here. Does this look familiar? Okay. No, come on. Work with me here, buddy. Okay, look at Kazuya here. Oh, come on. It's getting old. And look at Kazuya here. Do you see a similarity? Do you see a similarity? He's left lying on the floor and he can't move. This is one of the things I really despised about season 2 and what they did. They have Kazuya literally move. They have him like crawl on his legs and look up at Ruka like a pathetic little dog. Whereas in the manga, he literally just stays perfectly still. He can't fucking move. All he can do is turn his head. All he can do is just turn his head. He's frozen. He's literally just been assaulted. And the manga like triples down on this. I think the anime loves to like censor this shit and like frame it in like ways that's like really inoffensive or framing it just completely the wrong way. Like they'll get some things right and then some things wrong. Like another good example is Kibe punching Kazuya in Hawaiians. He literally punches him with like a fucking DK charge punch, and then the framing is like all wrong. Like Kazuya gets sent flying, like he just got hit with a fucking smash attack, and then Chizuru isn't next to Kazuya. It's not. I don't know if this is censorship. I think this is just wrong framing. I don't know if this is censorship. This is just wrong framing. It's like they misunderstood the scene, which is weird because some aspects show they understood the scene. And then some aspects show they clearly didn't understand the scene. So I don't know if it's like outright censorship. It could be censorship. It could be just misunderstanding of the scene. It's kind of like a mix of both. But with Ruka, the anime has a tendency to frame her in a very positive light. They're very, very biased towards Ruka. So they have a tendency to frame her in a much more positive light than the manga frames her, where the manga is very neutral because Reiji is very like objective about his characters. The anime tends to be very, very biased. I think that's a good way of putting it. The anime is very biased about its characters. The manga is very neutral. Okay, you're getting temporarily timed out, Marcelo. Kazuya is not being a coward when it comes to Ruka. There was only one instance, and it was during the Kohab, that Kazuya was not facing Ruka. And a part of it was, in fact, because of his trauma. Okay? We do have to address that. Like, while I am calling Kazuya out, you have to understand a victim doesn't recognize they're helpless, okay? Kazuya, like I've explained, has what is called learned helplessness. He doesn't recognize he's helpless. It's one of those things where later you start realizing, oh, I wasn't helpless. I was just taught and made myself believe I was helpless. So there are times where, so this is really important, okay? This is really important for victims to understand. Look, sometimes you are absolutely helpless and there was nothing you could actually do, okay? That is just true. It happens. That is life. But not every single situation you were helpless. What tends to happen a lot with abusers and what they want to do is condition you that you're helpless so that whenever something happens, they stop you. You literally just, you can't do it. You're conditioned that you're helpless and you can't do something. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say is that Kazuya isn't helpless. He's been conditioned that he's helpless. He doesn't recognize the power that he has. He's just been conditioned over and over that he's helpless. He's made himself powerless. He's not powerless, but he doesn't see that, and he can't see that unless someone helps him see that. That's essentially what's been going on with Kazuya. He doesn't realize he's helpless. He's not helpless. And all I'm doing is showing you how he's not helpless, that he could do something. He just can't. He literally can't. Okay? The only time where I think he could have was during the cohabitation, before the Odaiba date. That's where I think Kazuya could have done something, because he wasn't helpless. How can he get out of this through Chizuru? Like I've said, I believe Chizuru needs to learn about this, and she's going to empower him to feel like he's not helpless. Just as he empowered her to feel like she's not helpless. He made her feel stronger. She needs to help him feel stronger to do it for himself and not for anyone else. And not need any excuse or anything. It's for you. You're doing it for you, not anybody else. Chizuru's working hard. No one denies that, but also being extremely selfish. The suffering Kazuya is going through because Chizuru is choosing to do this instead of giving Kazuya the love he deserves. I don't really agree with that because that's not the issue. It's not Chizuru being selfish. It's Chizuru thinking she needs to be selfish to make him happy. Also, I've told you this before, and I've despised it every single time. No one deserves anything. That is the truth of life. Not a single person deserves anything. Deserve is something we believe. Okay? I believe a horrible person deserves punishment. Okay? But that's just my belief. You see what I mean? It's like we can say someone deserves something all we want. It is just something we believe. That's why we have to learn to enact it for ourselves. Okay? Kazuya, with love, it's not about deserving. Okay? That's bullshit. That's nonsense. Because we're going back to the same exact problem we've had this entire time, win and lose. If Chizuru has to do it because Kazuya deserves something, fuck off. I don't think you should get into a relationship with someone if you think they deserve something. You don't owe someone anything. You don't owe someone a relationship because they spent money on you. You don't owe someone something because you feel guilty. You don't owe someone something because you're partly to blame for it. It's not that, that's not life. It's not that simple. These are things we choose to do. Not things that we have to do. That is your belief. We choose to do these things. We choose to be better. We choose to be worse. It's that simple. No one deserves anything. We could say someone deserves something all we want. We earn that. We make it reality. If you think a bad person deserves something, then we got to start enforcing it. We got to put in the action. We got to prove why someone deserves this thing, not just do it because we think it's right. Back it up with some facts. You think Chizuru is just being selfish? I don't think so. I think Chizuru is making a mistake here. Yes, I don't think Chizuru is being extremely selfish here. The framing is intentionally that Chizuru is being selfish. She's not being selfish. Her wording is very clearly she's doing it for him. She's actually being very selfless. But that selflessness is the problem. It's a mirror to Kazuya, who is being very selfless for Chizuru. And that is the problem. She's not being selfish, she's being selfless. And your bias is showing again, Roman. You do this every time. You fall down this rabbit hole where the moment you get any sort of inclination that Chizuru is being selfish or she's having fun while Kazuya is suffering, you immediately jump on the Chizuru is a bad person train. She's being selfish. She deserves part of the blame. Except Chizuru's been blamed this whole fucking time. All Chizuru has endured is blame. Everything has been her getting blamed ever since Hawaiians. Non-fucking stop. All this has been is Chizuru shouldering the fucking blame. Non-fucking stop. Whereas Ruka, mommy, don't get any blame. That's the problem. Ruka and mommy don't get blamed for fucking anything. Kazuya doesn't get blamed for fucking anything. It's all Chizuru's fault. Always Chizuru's fucking fault. That's my problem. I'm not just defending Chizuru just because. My problem is simply that you're blaming her for things she's really not doing. And you're not blaming her for the correct things. She's fucking up in a different way. The way she's fucking up is she's trying to make Kazuya happy. Stop doing that for a fucking second, you stupid dipshit. Actually just do the thing you want to do. But she's been conditioned she can't. Oh, look, it's almost exactly a parallel to Kazuya. Learned helplessness. It's almost like everything you're experiencing with Kazuya right now is a direct parallel to Chizuru, so you fucking understand her better. Because you're goddamn blind as shit that Reiji spelled it out for us in Hawaiians and nobody understood. So now he's going out of his way to make you feel exactly what Chizuru has felt through Kazuya so you fucking understand. He's gonna beat you over the head with it. He's gonna tattoo it on your goddamn head. I'm gonna shave your fucking head and tattoo it on it. Just so you fucking understand. Because people are so goddamn stupid that they refuse to see Chizuru for who she is, but what they want to see. Every single time, any sort of inclination, boom, instantly. Nope, she's a terrible person. She's being selfish. I fucking hate her. Always. It's the same thing. It's like a fucking loop. You guys are stuck in a goddamn echo chamber. Although it is Chizuru's fault, Kazuya also lies about the situation with Ruka, and Chizuru thinks everything is fine without taking action because of this. She actively asks every fucking time. She always asks. And it's not Chizuru's fault. I disagree with that. It's not purely Chizuru's fault. Chizuru is making a mistake in that the way she's approaching it is wrong. The way she's doing things is wrong. Her actions are resulting in negative consequences. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I 100% agree. Chizuru's actions are resulting in negative consequences. She pushed him towards mommy in not being there. She let Ruka take control of him in not being there. Right? She wants to be there for him, but she doesn't think she can, so she has to do this weird fucking play thing, and we don't understand it yet, so stop fucking assuming. And in turn, it's resulting in this stuff happening. In that same way, Kazuya's actions are no doubt resulting in Chizuru doing something bad too. And we just don't realize it. Kazuya's actions are probably resulting in Chizuru doing something shitty too, and we probably just don't realize it. It's Kazuya's fault because it's his life. Final choice is his, and at least it should be. Again, it's not completely Kazuya's fault because he is a victim. Okay? I'm merely trying to highlight the nuance that people just don't know how to fucking talk about. That's all I'm trying to highlight. Kazuya has to have autonomy over his life. It is his life. At this point, he clearly doesn't, and he's kind of let go of who he is in service of how other people define who he is. So he's constantly molded by everyone else around him, and in turn, he's molding them into like an addiction into him. Okay? 50-50 Kazuya, more like kind of everyone's fault. Because Kazuya's family is at fault here, partially. Ruka, Mommy's at fault here. Chizuru's at fault here. Even Sumi's partially at fault. Yeah, you're probably like, how the fuck is this Sumi's fault? It's totally Sumi's fault. She's conditioned him into this like stupid fucking ideal instead of recognizing what the actual problem is because Sumi is so infatuated with him. Sumi is so busy being in love with Kazuya that she doesn't recognize what the real problems are anymore. So yeah, Sumi is also at fault here because she doesn't want to address her own feelings. And not addressing her own feelings, she makes Kazuya worse. Boom. Oh, look, Sumi, the perfect, beautiful girl, actually led him down the wrong path. Everyone is addressing the symptoms, not the actual problems. The true... It's Curry's fault. How does Curry have a fault in this? I guess Curry could have recognized that something was wrong with Kazuya. I guess he could have done more. I think something bad is going to happen, and everybody's going to be like, I could have done more. I think that's maybe what it's building up to. It's building up to something like that. It's like, I feel like I could have done more. I should have done more. I think that's what Reiji's building up to, is like some sort of sad thing happening. Not an actual, like, someone really, like, actually getting hurt, but someone who is hurt emotionally or physically in some way. And Reiji's going to show all these characters being like, I could have done more. I should have done more. You know, Faye, what is the joke? Kazuya here is playing the rental boyfriend role with Ruka while he waits with Chizuru. No, he's way past rental. He's way past. Okay, I found several different references, but here's the closest direct comparison. It's a paper. You can see the English title and the Japanese one. You'll notice the next name is... I'll just ask a Japanese fan, dude. I'll just ask a Japanese fan, dude. I'll just ask a Japanese fan. The double date put Ruka in Kazuya's life. The double date? What double date? Oh. Oh, shit. That is kind of Curry's fault. Shit. Good one. Okay, we found Curry's fault. Curry. But wouldn't you say that's technically Kazuya's fault? Because Kazuya made Curry feel insecure because of Chizuru? Now, it is Curry's insecurity, absolutely. But boom, there you go. Curry had some fault in this. There you go. Curry had some fucking fault in this. Okay. Is it out? The stairs are at fault as well. Oh my god, the fucking stairs. That's what I mean. It's like there comes a point where you can't just blame other people. You know, we're all technically at fault for everything. It ended better than I thought, to be honest. I wasn't expecting Kazuya to answer the phone, which was a smart move. It all surprises me that Ruka is dating in secret for 2 years. It makes a good old parallel to her lying to her parents, just like, oh shit. That's a good catch. She's been dating in secret this whole time. She wasn't actually telling her parents that she was dating Kazuya. Makes a good parallel to her lying to her parents, just like Kazuya and Chizuru. I think at some point, Ruka's mom will find out and some drama happens around it. She won't be happy to know her underage daughter has been dating an adult for years. Let's see. And Kazuya is going to get blamed for it. Oh, no. Kazuya is going to get blamed for it, that her underage daughter was dating him. Oh, Ruka's actions are going to have some fucking consequences. Oh, no. Oh, geez. That's a good catch. Ruka's actions are about to have some fucking consequences. Oh, Kazuya is going to get blamed for this so fucking hard. You know, maybe the Steins Gate reference is as direct as I thought it was. Maybe it is Chizuru. maybe sorry, maybe it's like a reverse Chizuru, or what am I saying? Maybe like the original Steins Gate, the 3 months were Kazuya as Okuba. Now it's the flip. Now it's Korosu, aka Chizuru, trying to find Kazuya. And Kazuya's getting hurt in the background. So it's literally about Chizuru needing to save him. Right? Whereas the first 3 months was like the original Steins Gate. Like the original series. The second one is like the sequel, where now Chizuru is technically like Korosu, where Korosu now has to do some time traveling to find the real Okuba and save him. And that's exactly what's happening. I think it's Chizuru's turn to save Kazuya. Okay, that's the build-up. That's the build-up. Okay, I think I see what Reiji's doing. Chizuru is the one who time traveled this time. She's the one who set she's the one who set the 1.5 months. In the 3 months, it was Kazuya who made it last 3 months. Now it's Chizuru who willingly chooses to do it. So it's literally Chizuru who has to save him. Okay. Yeah, some shit's gonna go fucking down. It's not like Kazuya has actual proof of what happened with Ruka, and Ruka is still a minor. Calling the cops would most likely end pretty badly, no matter if they believe him or not. Ruka also has a threat of telling Chizuru what happened, so Kazuya needs to be extremely careful. Add this to the fact that Kazuya doesn't hate Ruka and blames himself for everything that's happened. As to why he didn't break up with her yet, he tried once, but Ruka refused, and he still couldn't threaten him. Well, we already talked about this. He did it the wrong way. And then the mess in the Paradise arc and the ghosting happened, and the investigation, and now this. He never had time to break up with her in a good way like he wants to. There is no good way. I think that's the tragic part. There is no good way to break up with someone. You just fucking have to. That's the problem. People seem to be really under this assumption that there's a good way to break up with someone. There isn't. You can approach it in certain ways. Absolutely. You can approach it in certain ways. You can approach it in a way that's like not necessarily mean like mommy, but you have to shut it down. You have to take initiative and shut it down. There's no good way of doing it. Chizuru is a perfect example of this. There was no good way of ending it with Umi. She just had to make time and do it. It's a pretty complex situation. Without a doubt, some faults are on Kazuya and Chizuru for things getting out of hand. Not for Ruka sexually harassing Kazuya. That's a crime on her only. Kazuya is clearly in an abusive relationship, something that's obviously very hard to get out of. And that's true. I agree. Absolutely. Kazuya is a victim. That's the thing. That's what I was saying. Kazuya is a victim, and he is in some ways victimizing himself. In this particular chapter, he's absolutely just a victim. In this particular chapter, he's absolutely just a victim. However, do you want me to highlight to you how Kazuya is victimizing himself? He could have addressed Ruka much sooner. Instead, he waited until the problem literally came to his door. He could have addressed Ruka. He had plenty of time. Instead, he focused on Chizuru. Instead, he focused on how he could improve himself. Instead, he focused on just telling Minnie about this instead of like finding a clear solution to Ruka. Minnie didn't give him a clear solution. I think Minnie really fucked up. In particular, Minnie thinks she's doing the right thing by not telling Chizuru. I think it's very intentional by Reiji to show us Minnie not telling Chizuru. Because that flips the script. We're like, it's a bad thing that Minnie tells her. No, it's actually a really good thing. Minnie needs to tell Chizuru. Chizuru needs to know about Ruka. And Minnie not telling Chizuru is going to come back to bite her in the ass. Because once, like literally, once all this happens, think about it from like all these characters' perspectives. Minnie not telling Chizuru is going to be like, holy shit, he was in an abusive relationship and Chizuru could have helped and I didn't tell her. I'm a terrible friend. What the fuck? And then she's going to start looking at how she hurt Chizuru and she's going to be like, oh my God, I'm a terrible friend. What the fuck? I suck. I've made everything fucking worse. Okay. Now go to Curry. Curry could feel fucking horrible for this, right? He's barely been involved in Kazuya's life. While Kazuya was literally getting abused, he's the one who introduced Ruka into Kazuya's life. And Kazuya was being abused by her this whole time. Do you see how Curry could fucking hate himself? Now, the entire relationship wasn't abusive, I would argue. I think it started abusive and ultimately became truly abusive. But it wasn't just purely abusive. That wasn't really how it was initially. I think Reiji is just escalating it to that point. And I can see why Reiji is really questioning how he wants to approach the Ruka thing, because he's like, I don't want to like destroy her character. A lot of people think he has. I don't think he has. I actually think he's doing Ruka. He's writing Ruka in a very good way, in my opinion. I think this is a great way to introduce a sort of redemption arc for Ruka's character. Even if you guys think there is no redemption for Ruka's character, there absolutely is. In particular, Ruka recognizing what the fuck she's been doing this whole time and literally working to atone for that as a parallel to Chizuru, because Chizuru has been essentially trying to atone this whole time. So literally, Ruka recognizing what she did wrong, which she did not do in Hawaiians, by the way. She never learned what the fuck she did wrong. Ruka learning she did something wrong is going to be really important for her character moving forward to learn to atone. This also parallels directly with Mami, who was literally Kazuya and Chizuru's abusers, and Mami has not atoned at all for what the fuck she's done. So Mami, as well as Ruka, recognizing they did horrible things, they hurt these people in horrible ways and never atoned for it, is going to be really important for them to learn to atone, to be better people, to actually work and be better people. But what can make Ruka realize that Kazuya gets hurt or gets in trouble because of her actions? Kazuya gets hurt or in trouble because of Ruka's actions. Maybe Kazuya gets in trouble with the law. I don't fucking know. Ruka's mom finds out. That was a theory I had when the Ruka thing first happened. I had a theory that Ruka's mom might find out about Kazuya or something. This makes a lot of sense to flip that script. That Ruka's mom finds out and like gets defensive about her. I feel like it's not subtle that when the Ruka chapter first happened, we're intentionally shown Ruka's home, which we have not seen since Ruka's backstory. We have not seen Ruka's home since chapter 28, Ruka's backstory. Suddenly, you get to see that house again. Then, all of a sudden, now you see Ruka's mom. What are the odds that suddenly Ruka's family is being introduced into the picture after nearly 400 fucking chapters? Now they're getting introduced in the picture. Do you see the subtle hints that are being left in, like little breadcrumbs that are being left for you? Ruka is underage. She's been over 18 since like chat. No, she's not. Reiji has intentionally avoided Ruka's age. You do not know Ruka's age, period. Also, she's a high schooler. It doesn't matter if she's 18. Kazuya, I believe, is 22 now, not 21. He was 21 last birthday party. He's 22. You don't know Ruka's age, period. You don't. Reiji has intentionally, and he's even said this in the thing, he's intentionally avoided saying Ruka's age specifically because of the things that are being like addressed with her character. And he's trying to approach Ruka very, very, very carefully. He's trying to approach Ruka incredibly carefully. You don't know her age. Han probably 17. Maybe. But you don't know. Ruka's age has been intentionally avoided by Reiji. In particular, because in the very beginning of the series, she works a rental job. You can't work rental unless you're 18. So if Ruka has an age, no. If there's a reason Reiji doesn't talk about Ruka's age, and in particular, it has to do with the very beginning of the series where Ruka did rental. You can't do rental unless you're 18. Okay, you can't do rental unless you're 18. So unless Reiji wants to be like she lied somehow to get into rental, he's probably gonna stay avoiding Ruka's age, specifically because he doesn't want to frame rental poorly by being like she was 16 when she worked rental. That's a horrible framing thing for rental, you know. So that's probably one thing Reiji's intentionally avoiding. He doesn't want to talk about her age. It's just better to not talk about her age and just say she's in high school. It's just much safer. The problem is that he gave us her heartbeats. How's that a problem? I don't get it. What's the problem with that? Chizuru is a cat. Oh, you know what? Actually, really quick. You know what this reminded me of? Chizuru laying down. It reminded me of something. No, not that one. I don't know why. It reminded me of this. It's not the same. It's not the same. But I don't know. It kind of reminded me of that. I don't know why. It's not the same. But it kind of reminded me of that. I don't know why. And both of these are pink. Weird. Let's see. Maybe there's one with Ruka. Actually. Wait a darn second. Wait a darn second. Maybe there is one. Ooh, maybe there is a parallel here. Oh, I found it. Gang, I found it. When Ruka barges into Chizuru's home, and look at how Chizuru sits. Look at how Chizuru lays down. After Ruka barged into her home. She looks like she lost her fucking mind. What? It's a play. Chill out. Hey, yo, take a mad chill pill, bro. Chill the fuck out. I need you to take it easy, dude. Roman, you need to relax, brother. He gave us a pretty good approximation of her age with just that, but I don't think he meant to. Oh, you mean the thing where everybody counted back her fucking heartbeats? You mean that shit where everyone counted back her fucking heartbeats? No, dude. He gave us an approximation. You don't need to dig that deep into it. He didn't think people were gonna go and fucking count. And if you choose to, that's fine. He can retcon it. He can retcon it at any fucking time. He can easily retcon it at any fucking time. Yes, he gave us a slight approximation with her fucking age. Don't worry about it. He can retcon it at any time. People will always do the math. Sure. Doesn't change the fact that he never talks about it in manga. Feel free to do the math. No one really knows how old Ruka is. I think there's a pose where this looks like Kazuya, maybe because the next episode tackles this of the anime. Yeah. The next episode, which is tomorrow, is the 3-month time skip. So I think that's going to be quite relevant. I was reminded of the Minako Neko of Beckoning Cat. A talisman meant to bring good luck. I already talked about this in the very beginning of the episode and the thing. Are we making Dragon Ball references or what's going on here? What Dragon Ball references? We already talked about Dragon Ball like earlier with Mini. Reggie actually put a Dragon Ball reference with Mini. It looks like Ruka in chapter 401. Oh. I'll have to end the stream shortly, mind you, because I got to get ready to go to work. So sorry about that, gang. Sorry, gang. Gengar. What's your favorite Pokemon, chat? Mine's Absol. What's your favorite Pokemon, chat? Mine's Absol. Kind of. There is a similarity, kind of. Almost inverted. But she's just being a cat. Torterra. I used to love Torterra too. I liked what is it? What's the final evolution of Piplup? That was one of my favorites. Because her kind of looks like Yamcha. Yeah, a little bit. What's the final evolution of Piplup? That was one of my favorites. Snorlax, sure. Empoleon. Empoleon. No, is Empoleon. Yeah, I really liked Empoleon. That was one of my other favorites. I kind of like Gengar, but Gengar's like, it's okay. It's like just really popular. I like to be a bit of a contrarian sometimes. At least with popular things, it's just more about popular things sometimes. But then I'll eventually just admit to it. Eventually I'll just admit to it. Like, oh yeah, no, I like the thing. Fuck it. So like I do like Gengar. Gengar's really cool. I love his design. It's like really catchy. Like how is that design catchy? It's just catchy. How do I explain it? That's my god, catchy. No, I do like Gengar. But Absol's like one of my favorites. I fucking love his design. It's so cool. Absol's way too edgy. That's the best part. That's the best part. That's the best part. I like Absol because of how sleek his design is. Charmeleon. Charmeleon is cute. True. Charmeleon is pretty cute. Oh, I also liked what was it? What is the ape one? It's like a fire. Is it Infernape? I think it's Infernape. Yeah, Infernape. I really like Infernape. Even though he's not an ape, he's a fucking monkey. He's a goddamn monkey. He's a chimpanzee, bro. He's a goddamn chimpanzee. He's not an ape. Lucario was pretty good too. I used to like Lucario until he became the fucking MVP of furries. I used to like Lucario too until he became the MVP of the furries. Okay, so I think I'll stop here for now. We'll continue hopefully later. If I get off a little early from work, I'll continue. And yeah, honestly, there's still a lot to unpack with this chapter, but I like that we realized a lot of the stuff to the cats reference. I think that's going to be really important, especially the fact that like with cats, it's literally like a full moon. That's crazy. Oh my god, furries are the worst. Furries are not the worst. I don't fucking hate furries. I have some friends who are like furries. They're not the worst. They're a little the fucking like the fandoms are the worst because of course they fucking are. But most furries are not that bad. It's fine. It's fine. Let people like what they like. Unless you want to fuck an animal, then I'm pulling out the shotgun. Unless you want to be with an animal, then I'm just pulling out the fucking shotgun. Popping you like it's fucking Resident Evil, dude. And Phil the cat and Cohab. You mean Peter? Peter the cat. Yes, Peter the cat in the cohabitation. Yeah, no, there's a lot to unpack here. Oh, I found it. 316. What about 316? Last thing we'll check out. What about 316? What indeed about 316 am I looking at? For the parallel pose. Oh. Okay. Kinda. For paralleling Kazuya to Chizuru. Kinda. No, none of them are really the same. None of them are really the same. I'm gonna be real. They all look close, but none of them are the same. It's just meant to look like a cat. It's just meant to look like a cat. If anything, I think the closest, like none of those poses are really the same. They look close, but none of them are the same. We'll look at this more later. I think I'll call it for now. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow we'll have to react to the episode. It seems like the animation is starting to dip again, which it feels like they kind of burned all their budget on like those first 4-ish episodes. You know, the animation's starting to dip again, and it's fine. It's like, at least we got some episodes. It kind of reminds me of like season 3, I think, of Invincible, where like a lot of season 3 of Invincible just didn't look very good. And then they had like peaks, like really high peaks. What time? Tomorrow? It'll probably again have to be after work, so probably around 1. So 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. Today, I might continue when I get home. Hopefully, I might continue today when I get home. But we'll have to see. Hopefully, I'm not too tired. Hopefully I'm okay. Are you gonna stream later today? Again, I'll try to. I would like to talk more about this. I still have to write about. I think what I'll do is I'll write a double thread for 423 and 424. I think those 2 chapters go hand in hand. So I think I'm gonna write a double thread, which works. And then I also got to talk about the end of Hawaiians, which I think is gonna tie well with the next episode too. So I'll have to write for both. I'll have to write for both, make that money. Dude, I want to make money off YouTube. I don't want to make money off of my fucking job. I want to make money off YouTube, but you gotta fucking work for it, you know? So I'll have to do that. I gotta put in some effort for YouTube to make some money off of YouTube. Anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Feel free to discuss and read what other people say. Like, here. I have homework for you guys. Nothing annoying. But either send them on Discord or send them in the next stream. Send me some posts that you think are interesting for us to read. Some homework for you guys. Let's make this a regular thing. If there's any posts or anything you want me to read that you think is interesting, send it to me, and we'll read it on stream. Don't send me weird shit, or I will ban you. That's simple. Don't send me weird shit. Make it relevant to the chapters or something interesting. And we'll read it on stream. We'll make it interactive like that. Here. And for that, we'll maybe start doing like a Q&A for Patreon. Maybe for Patreon, I'll start doing like a Q&A that'll be interesting for you guys. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, for now, that's your small homework. Just find some stuff that you think is interesting and send it to me. And we'll talk about it. I'll read what they people say. See you guys later. Take care and have a